So, Patricia Chagnon, the user member of the parliament for the ID group, is it possible for you to make a comment about the decision of the French Council of the State to rule authorizations for onshore wind turbines as illegal?
Yes, it was about time that something was done about the windmill farms in France. I am from the region of Picardy, which is in the north of France, and we have a windmill farm that was decided by the government, approved by the government, just right near where I live, in the sea. And this is very problematic. It is, first of all, a problematic situation because the windmill farms are built in very shallow waters where there is also a lot of coastal fishing. So the channel is very deep. So there is not a lot of space in France to make windmill farms because there is very little shallow water. So it is an area where they built this farm, which is a fishing area for small boats, for local fishing boats, which has been destroyed. Secondly, there was a public inquiry about this windmill farm. And that was very interesting because everybody was opposed. The scientists were opposed because it's right into a nature reserve area. The public was opposed, the people who live there, because they are afraid for their tourist industry that it will damage the environment. The fishermen, of course, were opposed because it's going to destroy very good fishing areas. And the scientists, they ruled that given the nature environment, it would not be responsible to have this farm right next to and partially in the nature reserve areas for the wildlife and the preservation of the wildlife there. So yes, it was a problematic thing for the local people. But it's also very important to realize that wind farms are a total ecological scam. They are building these farms. France, of course, as you know, is known for its nuclear energy. We used to be a great independent country with very cheap, very clean electricity for, of course, our households, but also for companies in France. And with the laws, the so-called green laws, they have obliged and governments have accepted to build these so-called green energy farms. So, and this green energy farm, of course, wind farms have a big problem because it's intermittent energy. There is not wind all the time. And when there is no wind, there is no electricity. So with intermittent energy, like solar energy or like wind energy, you always need the backup of another electric manufacturing, so gas or coal, in case you have no wind or you have no sun. So this is a total ecological scam, which has been built by extreme ecologists in France, which has been imposed and funded on the bills of the French households who pay their electricity. So yes, I am very happy that finally it has been said they will not be automatically renewed and that there needs to be a halt to construction.
Do you think this decision in France will have an impact when it comes to building wind farms in other countries?
The decision in France. I hope it will be recognized that these wind farms are an ecological scam. The only way that we can produce safe, clean electricity in amounts that are necessary to our societies is by building nuclear plants, modernized small nuclear plants. So nuclear energy for France is definitely the solution to the energy problem. So I hope that it will now be realized that the intermittent energy is not going to be the solution for the solution as the greenies, the extreme ecologists have been trying to impose on us.
How does the debates going here in the EU Parliament when it comes to wind farms, since the EU is very concerned about the more renewable energy? Do you think this decision in France will have an effect here in the Parliament as well?
Well, Recently, there has been a sort of return on nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is no longer seen as the bad guy. Of course, after the energy crisis due to the war in Ukraine, we have, of course, inflation of energy prices in France, energy prices all over Europe. It is damaging our economies. It is very difficult for our households. We have had terrible increases on the energy prices. So I think more and more countries are starting to realize that the solution cannot be only wind farms and solar energy. We've seen that Germany's carbon print has gone up since they've closed their nuclear plants because they have to have, coal electric plants running when their intermittent energy stops.
Would you say this the scam with the wind energy has been pushed by all the climate regulation enacted under Ursula von der Leyen?
I think the von der Leyen EU over the past years has had a vision of degrowth. So everybody had to reduce everything. Agriculture had to be reduced. Energy consumption had to be reduced. It is basically a degrowth of European society. Now, of course, we cannot accept this. We all agree that we need to be environmentally responsible. We need to always aim at having cleaner air, cleaner soil, cleaner water. We all agree to that. But we cannot destroy our economies in the meantime. So we believe very much that it is by encouraging good practices amongst people and amongst governments that we're going to solve the problem. So yes, I think what has happened in France is a blow to the EU green ecological degrowth politicians who are trying to impose their view on all the countries, all the EU member states, because they've not succeeded. Courts of justice in France have thought differently.
And what would you like to say to those who still say it's necessary with the wind energy and that the wind energy is the solution when it comes to renewable energy?
I think you need to look at the numbers. We need, I think, first of all, people who are for wind energy. I can understand it. It sounds very pretty. There is wind and it's blowing and you get energy out of it. But they should look at the hard facts about the environmental cost of building wind turbines, the span of life that they have, how you can recycle them. And most importantly, the fact that it's intermittent energy. Now, if some people want to go back and live in caves with a little candle burning, well, that's a minority, but they shouldn't be imposing their view on a majority of people who want society to progress, who want businesses to be able to function, and who want Europe to be a prosperous continent.
Thank you, Patricia, for answering my questions.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.